Well, hello there. This is the Jayman Show, and my guest today is Evandra. Hi, Evandra. How are you? Good to see you on the show today.
Oh, it's lovely to be here. Thank you.
It's so good to see you. Okay. I'm such a fan of yours from the show to Illumini. You're such a wonderful actress. So my question to you was, how did you get started in the entertainment field as an actress?
In Illumably as an actress or in general as an actress?
As in general, on
Oh, well, in general, I started like a lot of theater kids do. I started in high school,
right?
and I continued to. Well, I started a mechanical engineering degree at a community college, and realized I couldn't give up theater, so I ended up going into the theater route. I went to school at AMDA, New York, for musical theater. And then I came back here, right after pandemic, looking for opportunities. A friend of mine who had found Illumably through Backstage
Okay.
messaged me last minute, "Hey, can you come in tomorrow and do this short film with Illumably?" And I was
Yeah.
like, "Okay."
Uh-huh.
Had no idea what I was getting myself into. I ended up being with them for a very long time, so it worked
Uh,
out.
that's wonderful. So what inspires you? What gives you inspiration to do what you do?
Inspiration. I think it's the craft itself.
Uh-huh.
Um, it's just so fulfilling to be able to tell stories
Yeah.
and to be around really great people.
Uh-huh.
Um, I have been very fortunate that all the people I've worked with have been really, really wonderful,
Mhm.
and so that keeps you going. You want to come back to continue working with these people.
I know, because I actually interviewed Soji last week, and he was a wonderful man. We had a good talk, So yeah.
Yes,
So what
Sergio's great.
yeah. So what's it like to work with Soji and Mr. Cass? I mean, do you guys get along offset?
Oh yeah. I mean, to be honest, I normally just come home and crochet. I'm kind of boring, but yeah, we've hung out offset a few times. We've had like Christmas parties.
Oh,
Uh, like I said, it's a great group. We all get along really well. Um, so sometimes we have to like tone it back because got to get to business.
yeah. I see. And I also see that you also teach voice lesson. Are you also singing yourself?
Yes, yes. As I mentioned, I pursued a education in musical theater, so that is my like primary
Mhm.
passion.
Okay. Okay. I any plans for you to record an album in the future?
Oh no, I haven't even thought of that. That would be a lovely dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could. I mean, not even a dream. That can happen,
Uh-huh.
but it's not something I've set to do yet.
Okay.
Maybe next.
Okay. I see that, yeah. So what advice can you give? Do you want to give people that want to be a singer or actress like you? What advice can you give us?
Okay, so um, first off, for singing,
Uh-huh.
I want to say that everyone can sing, and it's easier than you think.
Uh-huh.
We have a tendency to overthink singing,
Hmm.
but the way I teach is from a very natural standpoint. We just have one voice, and we use it the same way.
Hmm.
So when we're speaking, we speak on pitch all the time. We have a melody to our voice.
Hmm.
And it's the same thing when we're singing. So we don't have to change anything to produce those sounds. We just have to listen to the music and feel the music. But that's singing. That's singing. Anyone can pursue singing, becoming better at it. You could follow my website, EvandraAurelia.com. I have linked to my lessons there. And as far as acting, same thing,
Hmm.
getting education.
Yeah.
Getting education and acting, I think, is the first thing.
Mhm.
And then putting yourself out there.
Okay.
You have to find out where your resources are to act, and you have to constantly audition. That's the unfortunate part of the acting career is that you can't just get a job and be settled. You have to constantly keep looking, and the more you look, the more opportunities you have, you'll find something. You'll get work, and the more work you get, the more experience you get, the farther you can go.
That's definitely true. So how do you deal? So how do you deal with rejection? I mean, does it hurt sometimes being rejected for roles?
Oh, rejection.
Yeah, how's that?
Yeah, it definitely can be hard being rejected, especially when you're trying to pursue acting as like your means of making money.
Yeah.
It puts a lot more pressure on it. So it can be difficult, but again, as long as you treat every audition as this is just one audition, and you are maintaining the idea that there's always more auditions, there's always something else out there, that helps you think of that one rejection as a very small piece of the puzzle. So you have to think about the big picture. There's always more for you to do. No audition is everything. That's not your one shot. You always have another shot.
Yeah. Okay. And so how do you prepare? So how do you prepare for role? How do you usually get into character? Because I see you. I see you get angry and sad. It's like there's a whole lot of acting come out of you, and it's wonderful. How do you prepare for that?
Well, first step, reading the script, figuring out who these people are. In Illumably, we have a quick turnaround with these scripts. So we get the script, and it's often the next day we are shooting the whole thing. So we had to make some quick choices, and I would say I make character choices of how do they speak, how do they move, what is their objective in that scene, in the show or piece as a whole. And then there's also some improv involved, especially with Illumably, which is where you've seen me. We get to go a little bit off script sometimes, so we get to do things that are fun and creative, and those are usually my favorite parts. The parts that just come in the moment from connecting to your partner and knowing who your character is.
I see. Yeah. Wow. And so how did the pandemic? So how did the pandemic affect you? If everything being shut down.
Yeah, that was so before the pandemic. I was at AMDA, New York, in Manhattan, and I was trying to make my career happen in musical theater. So the plan was, after I graduated, I was going to stay in Manhattan and work on auditions there. But since I graduated during the pandemic, I didn't think it was sustainable to stay in New York at that time, when there wasn't auditions. There wasn't anything to audition for. So I originally made the goal I was going to go home for a year until things started to open up again. And it's been 2 years. It's been 2 years now since I graduated, but I think it's still been the most sustainable choice for me to continue auditions here as I build up my resume more.
I see. I see. And so how's that going for you so far? Are you getting more roles and more films and plays?
Yeah. So honestly, Illumably was a great resource for me, because Illumably wasn't just a single role. That was like a part-time job, because we were filming multiple days every single week. And so that was a really great way to help sustain my acting career, getting money income, and yeah. So I've been continuing to audition for stage, because I really want to get back on stage. Is my goal. I had a play recently that I was in, and I'm waiting to hear back on more auditions. I've done a couple other short films with student directors, and I was a part of a Kickstarter campaign recently that is still hush, but we got to create a fun video for it too that was really, really inspiring, honestly. So I'm excited for that Kickstarter to come out. And there's been, very lovely feedback from the fans of Illumably.
Oh,
And I'm really, really excited for the opportunities that will be coming soon.
I can definitely tell you because I'm sorry, I'm happy for you myself, yeah. So where's Illumity filmed? Is it filmed in New York City? Illumity?
No, no, no. We're from California.
Oh, okay, California. Okay.
Yeah,
So
Bay Area.
okay, okay. I'm trying to look California myself. And how's the weather? So how's the weather on there? Is it real hot down there?
Well,
Mhm.
California has been experiencing a unique amount of rain for
Yeah.
us. So
Okay.
it's actually raining quite a bit, like as we speak,
Oh, really?
um, which is really great. I'm so glad we're getting rain, but it seems to be that California is either getting not enough rain or
Mhm.
too much.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm definitely trying to move to California because right now I'm a Boston and it gets kind of cold, all the snow. I just don't want to do the so I'm tired of the snow, so I'm trying to make it move myself, so yeah.
Yeah. Well, I myself am in Santa Cruz, California. It's beautiful here. Fairly moderate weather all year round, with the exception of this year's rain. and yeah, very, very, very beautiful. We're right between the redwood forest and the ocean. Nice spot to be.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely have to make sure I come down for a visit, absolutely, yeah. So since you're in California, have you gotten to meet any celebrities, since you're an actress?
Um. Oh. Once.
Okay.
Yes, I was an extra in the TV show, the FX Hulu TV show, Devs.
Okay.
I mean, this isn't like a meet situation. This is the most I've had directly. Nick Offerman was a big part of it, and he was very, very nice. At the end of the day, it was a long day. We had to go back and forth all day. So he came in and talked to all of us extras, and he told us thank you for your hustle. It was very, very sweet that he came and talked to us directly.
Well, that's wonderful because I've actually been an extra in some films too. I was actually in the film What's That Captain with Martin Lawrence and here comes
Mhm.
and here comes Boom with Kevin James. That was a wonderful movie. I got to meet them, yeah. So yes, I'm also a fan of acting myself, and hopefully make it fresh on myself, So yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? I think the most I was hearing about celebrities was when I was in New York.
Mhm.
Friends of mine were seeing them all the time on the street.
Oh really?
I never, yeah. I'm very often just like rushing between the things that I have to do. So it's just
Huh?
like head down and getting from one place to the other, not intentionally, but
Huh?
I missed opportunities that other people saw when they were a bit more open, looking around.
I see. Wow. Oh, wow. They actually see celebrities walking on the streets without security? Wow. Because that's awesome, because I've been there myself, I never seen a celebrity in my life, while walking on the street, so that's awesome. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so my next question to you is serious. I know that Illumina deals with a lot of issues. I mean, especially racism.
Mhm.
How do racism affect you growing up, and how does it affect you now? How does it affect you now, basically?
Well, I feel like I grew up in a very tolerant area. However, it was not a diverse area.
Mhm.
Um, so I being half or partially Native American, Latina, and Caucasian, I was even though I was part Caucasian, I was still like one of the biggest minorities at my school, which was strange. People were very, very, like I said, tolerant, open, but there's also mostly just ignorance.
Uh,
I think sometimes like, people not realizing when they're singling someone out, but for the most part, I think I was fairly lucky in that area. Um, I I know that other people in my friend groups have had to deal with them a lot more than I have. I'm lucky that I'm somewhat passing, so I think that it misses me sometimes. A lot of people don't know. A lot of people don't know what ethnicity I am at all. I get a little bit of everything. I guess is everywhere, but yeah, I definitely think it's a very, very important issue. Very much in our industry as we start to grow, and I love that we're seeing so much more diversity in film. I'm excited for the opportunities it's going to create for everyone. And also just the fact that we're going to be seen more. We get to see ourselves in different situations. Because I know, for example, I didn't see a lot of Latina representation in positive light growing up. So when I was like going to school, and especially since I was such a minority and it was a very, very white community, sometimes that part of myself would feel as like a negative part, because I wasn't seeing my Latina side being represented very well in media. So I was worried about what people would think about me.
I see.
But I'm really excited to see so much more representation. I was actually just watching Gina Rodriguez. I really, really love her in Jane the Virgin, and now she's in this new show called Not Dead Yet. She is this beautiful, beautiful example, and she's always very inspiring in her roles, in my opinion.
That's good. So how are you able to overcome all that? How people try people to treat you. How are you able to overcome all that?
I don't take it personally.
Okay.
I don't think it's a reflection of who I am. My talent, my intelligence, my value is devoid of what race someone sees me as that day, because again, it's always something different. I can't control what people think about me. And the bottom line is, if there are people who reject me for something like that, those aren't people who I want to be working with anyway. And there's so many more people out there who that wouldn't matter to.
Yeah. Okay, I guess that makes sense. So how can you tell when you audition for roles, if someone's really interested, because there's a lot of fake websites, for actresses, How do you know? How can you sort of tell who's real, who's fake, so people don't waste money?
Oh, so you mean like when you go to an audition, whether or not they like you?
Yeah. And how can you tell, like how people sometimes sort of like, for websites into acting, because it could be a fake website. Or how do you know if it's the casting company is
scams?
Scams. Yeah. How do you deal with scams? Yeah.
So I only had that experience once. My mom took me to like acting, modeling, like talent workshop or whatever when I was in like elementary school, and that one unfortunately was a scam. They asked for $500 to be a part of the program, and if there's any agents who are asking you for money up front, big red flag right away. Agents wouldn't ask for money up front like that. It would be a percentage. So if someone is asking for money to try and get you work, that's not a good call. Making sure that you are looking at jobs through reputable casting websites. Backstage is very fortunate. They'll say whether or not a job has been vetted by them. Because sometimes there are jobs that have not been vetted by them yet, because anyone can post jobs onto Backstage, and there's going to be a period where Backstage hasn't had the time to see whether it's real or not. But that's a really easy way. If you see that check, Backstage verified that this is real, then that's something you can do. If you find that someone's asking you for sketchy information, That's a big red flag. You should not be giving out anyone personal information. You should be able to see, just for example, when I get someone who reaches out to me, I Google them. There should be multiple resources that all the names, everything lines up. Mm-hmm. And you'll be able to see what's their email. Mm-hmm. Like, for example, we both have very, very clear emails. Yep. It's our first, last name, yep. and then at blah, blah.com. Yeah. But sketchy websites and stuff that they'll often have more complicated email addresses, and that's a red flag. If it doesn't completely match their name, then that's not someone you want to go with.
Okay, yeah, it's good to know, because like I said, there are so many websites, casting houses that can, it looks fishy. It's a red flag, like you said, yeah, that's good to know. Yeah. Yeah. So what are your plans? So what projects are you working on right now? Are you working on any films coming out this year? Any projects coming out this year?
Well, I'm going to be working with the Lumably again tomorrow. It's actually my first time in a little while. I had some car issues recently, and so I wasn't able to make the commute over there. Oh. But I'm going to be back with the Lumably tomorrow. Like I said, I'm waiting to hear back from some auditions for some stage productions that I'm really excited about. And like I said, I did a couple of short films, like student short films earlier in the year. Right now, I don't have any films that I'm working on, but maybe soon.
Okay, I see. And so, what do you like to do in your spare time when you're not filming? What do you like to do for fun and travel wise?
So I really like to crochet.
Oh, okay, crochet. Okay.
I didn't have it handy on purpose, but I have a little crochet doll I made for my stepbrother.
That's awesome.
There you go.
Okay, awesome. Wow. That's awesome.
That's something I really like to do. And I like to go on walks. Like I said, we have the redwood forest right here, and we have the ocean. Go walking along the cliffs, and I'm spending time with my partner. Mm-hmm. I have a very lovely partner of 10 years. Okay. And and I'm a very simple person. But that's mostly going to see my family. I have two lovely little siblings. Okay. A 5-year-old and a 10-year-old.
Oh, awesome! That's wonderful to hear. Okay. Okay. So, what do you think people can do to make the world better in your opinion?
Okay, making the world better. That's a big question. Whew. Having an open mind, and listening to other people, because we don't always know what the right thing to do or say is, right? Yeah. But we can listen to other people. What do other people need? What boundaries are they setting? And as long as we're really listening to other people, and that's a big part of what we do in our videos. People are saying what they need, what they want, and the other person isn't listening until they finally get through to them. If we can just listen to people from the first time they tell us what they need or want, then we could cut out all of the drama in the middle.
Yeah, I definitely agree, because I think the world probably be a place with so much less drama. I definitely agree. Yeah. So okay. So what do you see yourself? Years from now, still acting or producing films?
Told you it's raining. It's raining pretty hard. Sorry. That's right. Yeah. I see myself as still acting. So I'm hoping that by then I'm going to have bigger opportunities. Yep. it would be a dream to be on a TV show,
Mm-hmm.
maybe with Netflix. You know, they're in this area. You never know. And yeah, still with my partner,
Mm-hmm.
um, and oh, and having more voice students.
Yeah.
That's honestly that's a huge passion of mine. I love seeing my students grow, getting
Uh-huh.
to build their confidence up. That's one of my favorite things in the world. So it would be really great to continue to grow my voice lessons, and another possible dream I have. I don't know if that's going to be the direction I go, but I would really love to open a vegan restaurant one day. That's something that's always been on my mind because I really love food.
Yeah, we both, I'm definitely, I have taken some fun and it's much healthy for you too. So yeah, I definitely agree, I'm just staying in shape, Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I definitely, yeah. Wow. So, okay. So, so my question to you is if you want, if you want, if you want an actress, right? What would you like to do probably if you were an actress,
If I wasn't an actress, see that's a hard question because I have asked myself that many times because
Wow.
acting is not the easiest profession to be in, and I can't really see myself doing much else than acting.
Okay.
The only other things are teaching voice lessons and maybe opening up that vegan restaurant. I originally was a mechanical engineering major.
Oh, wow.
I loved my mechanical engineering studies. It wasn't that it was too difficult or anything. However, I am also a person who has ADHD,
Okay.
something that I struggle with. And I think having something that's an active career like acting is, helps me stay more focused and be in the moment. Whereas something where I have to be, more independent, it's maybe slower, quieter. It's a lot harder for me to stay focused and get those things done. So I think acting is a really great career for me in that sense as well.
Yeah, I definitely agree because I actually have ADHD myself, how are you able to control that, because sometimes it's hard for me to control that. So how does it work for you?
So yeah, that's like I said, that's been a struggle for me, and I like to be very open about my mental health struggles. In the past, I have experienced a lot of executive dysfunction
Oh,
that has made it difficult for me to follow through on the things I need to do in life, whether it is to get work, the regular adulting things.
yeah.
Um, and I actually, a year and a half ago, I started to take some medication to
Oh,
help regulate myself. And that has been, I would say that has been a lifesaver.
yeah.
I'm very fortunate that I found something that worked for me fairly quickly. And I still feel like myself. I just feel a little bit more in control.
Yeah.
And that has been very, very helpful.
That's good to hear because I've actually been taking some medication myself, so I think it does help to talk about it, especially, it helps you, prepare for roles, so start slowly and just, yeah, stay focused. I definitely agree, and maybe talk to a counselor, or a therapist, that they also help me as well, so I know that, because
Yes, yes. And as far as acting goes, so I also have major anxiety.
oh,
And so when I
really?
was in acting, yes, when I was in acting school, one of the biggest things my teachers always had me working on was just trying to relax on
Yeah.
stage. And I was always saying like, I thought I was relaxed, like with like my shoulders like up here or something, and it wasn't until I started taking medication that I was like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
this is what it's like to be relaxed and be calm.
Yeah.
No wonder my teachers are always telling me that. So I do think that has helped me as an actor as well, because I was never able to fully relax in
Yeah.
life on stage.
Uh-huh.
And now I do feel like I can actually relax at times. Not always, but I can get there. I can be relaxed and do what I need to do.
Well, that's good to hear because I've actually had high anxiety myself, so I know how you feel, both, and so, but taking medication, I think it definitely helps, I definitely agree.
Yes, and it's so important to be able to break down the stigma around
Yeah.
medication. It's not a failure.
Yeah.
Not everyone's brain functions the same way, and there's to be able to survive in this world that we've created.
Yeah.
Sometimes we need a little bit of help.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong. There's not wrong with asking for help. It's all good. It's all good to ask for help. So you can do it right. Because I was in school. I always got help. Help, on test quiz, especially in college. So I could get through. So people should learn that.
Yeah.
That's wonderful to hear. And
Yeah.
yeah.
It helps even the playing field.
Yes.
For people who weren't born with all of the facilities to deal with the world in the same way that other people can.
Yes, I definitely agree. Because I learned that after my mother passed, years ago, that I need help too, by going to school, help me, take care of myself, and trying to, do better so I can have a career in acting or in this, so that's why I take medication and try to stay up with just like you do, because it's really important.
Yeah. Yes, it's very important. It's very, very important, and it's a overlooked part of mental health sometimes. I mean, it is valid to argue sometimes that it shouldn't be your first thing. There's always I took over a year of therapy before I decided that I did in fact need medication.
Mm-hmm.
And so it shouldn't be the first thing. There are other ways to cope, but if you are unable to use those other ways of coping, and be successful, then you might need the medication so you can at least get to those coping mechanisms.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Because after my mom passed, I wasn't W for 5 years. I'm actually still in W, because I feel it helps to to talk to somebody to get your feelings out, and because that's what they're there for,
Yes, if it's accessible, I think that everyone should have therapy as long as it's accessible. I wish it was accessible for everyone, but if it is, highly recommend it. Yes. Everyone, whether you think you need it or not, it's still a very, very helpful resource.
It sure is, as well as speech, and there's also, you can also have therapy online, on Teams or Zoom, So I hear that it's more, so you can just have it in your home, and it really helps, So I also do that. I also do acupuncture, because that, I feel it helps. It helps. Helps you. Have you done acupuncture?
Oh no, I wanted to try it. No, I haven't. I've only gotten a massage, I think, once, but that was excellent. Yeah. I did get the little handheld Theragun. That helps because my shoulders have a tendency to get stuck up here. So it really, really helps to release that tension. And releasing tension is an important part because it's a feedback loop. When we're tense, it tells our brain that we're stressed. Yeah. So it keeps that stress going. So being able to relieve tension, whether it's acupuncture, massage, is very, very important.
Yes, it's really healthy, healthy. I've actually had massages too, and it really helps, And acupuncture, it's not that bad. I mean, basically you lie down, they put needles, but and not too deep, and I usually fall asleep, and I wake up for like an hour. I feel so refreshed, fresh, especially takes out the sore on your back, you really love it, So, I
want to try it one day. I want to try it.
Yes, if you come to Boston, I can recommend a specialist, and the dog. She's very good. She can help you. Like she helped me. She's really. It's actually called acupuncture for everyone. For a check online. She's really, really good. She just charges $30 a session. So and it's not bad. It takes like an hour. And you'll feel so much better. I highly recommend that.
Well, that's lovely.
Yeah. So yeah. so my next question is what's one person that you want to work with? You know, it could be a star, anybody. Who's one person that you love to work with or meet?
My first thought is Rachel Bloom.
Oh, Rachel Bloom. Oh, yeah. I actually met her in Boston. At Phoenix, she was wonderful. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so jealous. I really want to see one of her shows. Crazy Ex-Girlfriend was a huge show for me, not just in the sense that it was a musical show, which was great, but I really connected to her character. And I think that Rachel Bloom does a really great job of breaking the stigma when it comes to mental health and medication. I have her book right here.
Awesome.
Lovely read and lovely audiobook. If anyone has a chance, I want to be where the normal people are.
Yeah. I think that's the book because everybody wants to be normal and fit in. So I know how to. So I definitely understand what you're saying, because people want to be treated with respect and fit in. So I definitely understand. Have you tried to reach out to Rachel on social media? On Instagram, Messenger?
No, I haven't.
I see. And do you ever get stage fright when you perform? Do you ever get
stage fright?
Yeah, I mean, do you ever get stage fright? Stage fright sometimes?
Oh, stage fright.
Yeah.
Yes, primarily for auditions.
Okay.
That's the scariest part for me. I'll be honest. When I am on stage for a show with an audience, that's not that scary to me. But when it's those 3 people in the room that you're auditioning for, that for me is terrifying. Again, because that's where the stakes are. Getting that job, getting work, or not. That's the part that scares me, because I want to be able to continue acting, getting work, and yeah, that's a lot of pressure. I find though, when I'm in an audience, it doesn't matter, because I'm telling that story that we've been working on, and just connecting and being in the moment, which should be how it is on the audition too. Again, it's just one audition, and the goal is just to feel that same way as you would, as I said, on stage, being in the moment, connecting to the material. But it's sometimes it's hard to break down the idea of the pressure in your head.
Yeah. So how are you able to control the pressure, or butterflies you get? I mean, how do you able to go in there and just deliver a good audition without being stage fright?
So this is something that I've worked on, that I've gotten from my acting training and from my therapy, and I incorporate this into my voice lessons, because I have mindfulness focused voice lessons is what I do. And so we work on making sure our body is fully relaxed beforehand. I have a few different exercises we do for that. One that I like to do is this very simple thing with the hands, where you're kind of caressing one hand to the other hand, and while you're doing it, you're focusing on your breath. So in, out, in, out. And I just do that for a while, like backstage, before I have to do something, and that really helps. Meditation is a really great resource. Progressive muscle relaxation is a really fun one, and they have meditations that do this as well, where you tense progressively different parts of your body and releasing them. So actually, because we don't always realize where we have tension in our body. So when you actively focus on tensing it up and then releasing it, you might find yourself more relaxed than you were before. And reminding ourselves that it really doesn't matter in the long run. Whether you mess up, whether you don't, that's not too important, because there's always more opportunities. Your worth is not determined by the outcome of any audition. And so I remind my students that all the time, that your talent, your worth is not determined by the role you get.
That's wonderful to hear. I definitely that's one of the, and I definitely think these exercises that you teach really helpful. I mean, I'm gonna check it out because the hand motion. I mean, it's always feel better when I'm relaxed. I can fall asleep better.
Yes.
And that's the key.
Everything is better.
Yes, it always smells.
Yes, better. Everything is better when you're relaxed.
Yeah, yeah. Not so much stress, because right. Because sometimes I get pain because I'm getting old, and I get my doctor said I have a small case of arthritis. So yeah, so these so these exercises that you take I have, do you think they might help with the arthritis as well? Arthritis.
Well, yeah, I actually experienced it's not arthritis, but from side effects of mental health things I've had, stress. I experienced joint pain. I do believe that staying relaxed and staying mobile can help with inflammation. Also, and it sounds silly, but it actually really worked for me. Turmeric. It sounds simple, but it's a great anti-inflammatory medicinal thing. So putting a little bit of turmeric, I would mix it with some rice milk and sweetener and drink that in the morning. That'd be very, very helpful when I was experiencing joint pain.
Okay, so it's better. So you're saying to have rice milk, and so instead of having coffee, have that, and that'll help you with the pain.
It helps with the inflammation, which then I think helped relieve some of the pain for me. And I'm not saying necessarily instead of coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker myself. I'm a very energetic person. I have a fast metabolism. If I drink coffee, it's like full on meltdown for me.
I see. Okay.
But yeah, no. Just a tiny. It's like a little shot.
Okay.
With a turmeric shot, a little turmeric shot.
Okay.
And that helped me.
Okay, that's wonderful to hear. I'll make sure I try it. And do you think it's also do you think it's better to maybe cut back on taking pills like a leave a Tylenol or maybe work on what you said that might help the pain. So that might help the pain as well. Because I know people say leave might. So how do you?
Yeah. So sorry.
Good enough.
I definitely don't think you should stop taking anything, especially if it's recommended by your doctor. Okay. However, the turmeric, since it isn't as severe as using like ibuprofen or Advil Aleve, I think is a really good option. It's worth the shot. Okay. If it's not enough to cover the pain that you're feeling from arthritis, then definitely you shouldn't give up on the Western medicine options.
Okay. I guess that's definitely true. That's good to hear, I mean, yeah, because I know that once I feel, less pain, I feel better, so I mean, that's what it's about,
Yeah. And the turmeric was actually recommended to me by my doctor.
Okay. Oh, that's good. Yeah. Because if a doctor recommends something, I'll definitely follow through, because they know what they're talking about. So, that's good to hear, Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Listen to your doctor. That's what I'm vouching for.
Okay. Absolutely. Also, that's good. Listen to the doctor. Yeah, that's absolutely. That's number one key advice, Yeah. Yes. So do you also exercise as well? When you have a chance to exercise as well?
Yeah, I'm trying to make sure that I stay active. When I was in school, I didn't have to try because we're constantly we're in New York, so we're walking everywhere. We had dance classes all the time. So when I left school, I did find that I was a bit more stagnant. I wasn't exercising as much. It was a lot of sitting down. Like in I told you my hobby is crochet, so that's not very active. But I did get a gym membership this year. I'm trying to do more dance classes, doing Zumba, all of those things to stay active. And I even started crocheting on the treadmill. So
that's pretty good.
Combining it.
That's good to hear because I definitely feel exercising definitely help you and stay in shape, and be healthy. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
health is key, and also it very much helps with singing.
Oh, it does.
Yes, yes. Having a strong voice, it is connected to your muscles and to your breath support. When you exercise and doing cardio, it helps build your respiratory system as well. So that's going to help with your vocal power.
That's one of the help you live a long life. That's one of it. Yeah, I see. Wow. I guess that's wow. And so what makes you happy? So what makes you happy and what makes you sad? Mhm.
Well, a lot of things make me happy. Like hearing the little birds out there right now, that's happy. Getting to talk to new people, that makes me happy. My partner makes me very happy. My family makes me happy. I think focusing on the positive is so important because there's always going to be positives and negatives that are happening out there, and finding the little things.
Mm-hmm.
If you've done therapy, you've probably been recommended a gratitude journal,
Oh, gratitude.
right?
Yeah. What is
Yeah.
so?
So gratitude journals, writing down things that you are grateful for, and trying to make sure they're different each time, because we can get stuck on like, this is the good thing in my life, that's the good thing in my life. But there's so many like beautiful, great things in life, and really being able to acknowledge them is really, really important to our overall happiness. So that way we're not just stuck on our deadlines, our stress, all of the other issues that come into our life. We're able to like take a step back and focus on the positives.
Yes, I guess that's true. And these other things will definitely help you, because like you said, I mean, it's good. I guess what makes me happy is meet people like yourself. I'm so happy to actually meet you, have a conversation with you. So it's a blessing, and just meet people in general. So yeah, I guess
Mhm.
that's what it's about. More happiness, more positive. Less negative. I definitely agree. Yeah. Yeah. So, wow. Well, okay. Okay. So I just have one more question, then we'll wrap up. Do you think you might be back in New York anytime soon? For any more auditions? I know you're in California right now, but you finna come out to New York, or Boston at some point. Or?
I definitely plan on going back to New York at some point. There's nothing set right now as far as a time, but that is the goal. That was always the goal, was to do theater in New York.
Okay, and you go. Okay, and so basically your goal was to become a famous actress or a famous singer. So I can definitely see you. I can definitely see you as a famous actress. A singer, go on tour. I mean, maybe become like Beyonce. Beyonce going on tour. So I mean, as you know,
Oh,
I thought that was your dream.
that's very, very sweet. It's very sweet. No, my goal was never to be famous. I
Oh,
just want to continue doing my craft, which is
oh,
acting, and being able to make a living off of it. So, I mean, there may be a certain amount of fame that comes with being able to sustain that career.
yeah.
Which, I mean, already I feel more famous than I expected to be with our
Yeah.
lovely Illumably fans, and getting to do this interview with you. So there is that to an extent, but no, that's not the goal. The goal is just to continue doing work that I can be proud and happy of.
Okay, and do you also recognize? Do you also get recognized in person from Illumi? Do people come up to you for autograph or pictures when they see you?
No, no, no. I don't think anyone's recognized me in person
Oh,
yet. Again, I don't go out that much.
oh, really?
Yeah, no, I don't. I'm a very, like I said, a very just like simple person. I do my work. I come home. I crochet. I make food. Spend time with family, partner. Um, yeah, and when I'm invited to things, I go. But again, yeah, I don't get out that much.
Okay. I see. Do you get do you also get a lot of fan mail or fan emails from people wanting to meet you?
As of recently, yes, and unfortunately, I haven't exactly known like what to do because it's a little scary and overwhelming being reached out by people that you haven't met before, and so many messages are really lovely, and sometimes though I don't know if or like how to respond because you never know who out there may have like negative intentions, and I don't want to think that of people, but I'm also afraid sometimes to open up that door, especially when you can like verify who people are. So that can be scary sometimes, but I very much appreciate any like whenever kind words are sent.
Okay, I'm fine. Oh, I had no idea that you felt that way, that you felt scared, to get. I guess I can understand, So this all being new to you, but yeah.
I have some social anxiety in general, so even with people I know, I'm like, how do I talk to this person? So when it's someone I don't know, that makes me nervous. It does, but I appreciate it, but it makes me nervous.
Okay. So how are you able to deal with your social with your social So how are you able to control it? I mean, how are you able to control you?
Well, just kind of pushing through it. I mean, like I said, I take medication, so that helps overall, for sure. And then the rest of it is just me overthinking things, and yeah, that's a part of who I am. I'm an overthinker. I'm working on it, but yeah, just pushing through, like talking to people, even though I'm scared, even though it makes me nervous. Just hoping for the best.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well, I'm so glad you talked. I'm so glad that you're talking to me, So because I'm not never talking to you, you seem wonderful, So I'm glad you. I'm glad that you. I'm so glad that you actually reached out to me, because it was a blessing to hear from you, because I know most people I reach out to sometimes don't respond, but the fact that you respond to me, it's a blessing. So I'm glad you responded to me, So.
Yeah, well, and again, I was able to verify you were very legit. So I always check people out before I respond, okay. And that was helpful, and I really appreciated you reaching out. And I was nervous today. It was my first time being interviewed, so.
I'm your first interview, and even I'm your first interview. Awesome. Because you did, because I mean, you see nervous, but you did great, You did.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So look, okay. So how can people find you on social media if they want to reach out to you? How can they find you on social media?
So luckily for me, I have a fairly unique name. So everything is Evandra Aurelia. My website, evandraaurelia.com, is also links to my Instagram and Twitter, which unfortunately, I'm to be honest, I don't use my Twitter very much, but I occasionally use my Instagram, and that's where you'll be able to see new things about me.
Okay, this is wonderful, because I definitely see a lot in store, and hope. And I know you said that, and I know you said that you weren't in the business for fame, right? That's not you, but and I can understand that, but I can definitely tell you.
Especially someone who has social anxiety, right?
Yeah, because I understand that, because I don't, because like I can stand that because I don't really have social anxiety, but I can understand that you might feel scared, and that's normal,
Yeah, for me, it's like acting is it's being a different person, so it's not me anymore. So the social anxiety is gone when I'm on stage, and then when I'm off stage and like people are talking to me now, that's when it changes.
Oh yeah, well I can definitely understand.
Yeah,
I can definitely understand that, because I've had a problem when I was in school, So, but like I said, I was over. I guess I was sort of overcoming for my tutor and my mom, So yeah, but I can understand, because it can be a problem. So, and I. But like I said, you did so great, I mean, and just having a conversation was just a blessing. So and you did, and you did a great job in this interview. So it was an honor to talk to you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. It's lovely talking to you.
Thank you. And so hopefully I'll let you know when the interview is and stay safe, okay? And wish you all the best, and hopefully we'll stay in touch, okay?
Okay, thank you. Okay, I hope you have a wonderful day.
All the best. Take care and stay safe. Thank you again so much. I appreciate you.
Bye.
Bye.